In March, I posted a video that went something like this. Don't put a screen on it. What if Whoop 5.0 got a screen? And of course, people adamantly voiced their opinion on that subject. But maybe more important than the screen or no screen, where is it? Where is the Whoop 5.0? They've been awfully quiet, Whoop. I love using Reddit for Whoop leaks. There are a healthy amount of Whoop users on there. That's actually where I first saw the Whoop AI hallucinating about the Whoop 5.0 screen that turned into that video, but it's crickets over there as well. Whoop hasn't been completely absent though. They've been quietly in the background, refining old features and adding new ones. Whoop AI Coach. We got this one a while ago, but it's often overlooked, but it's an incredibly powerful, personalized AI assistant that can help you create some pretty incredible programs and help you get the most out of your Whoop data. The most requested feature that I've personally seen is Strength Trainer. And we got this quite a while ago, but they've updated it to where you now can select weightlifting after you've already done an activity. And this is big because you used to have to start an activity with Strength Trainer and then go through that horribly tedious process of pausing and starting. So now you can select it after and it still calculates your muscle strain load versus cardiorespiratory load. And because of this, I'll be honest, I've used this feature a lot more recently. And just very recently, they've now allowed you to connect a smart scale. It's got to be through Withings. That way you can track your body composition over time. But as far as the Whoop 5.0 goes, it has been nothing but tumbleweeds. I predicted, given Whoop's release history, that the Whoop 5.0 would be coming in the summer of 2024. Well, summer has basically come and gone, and no Whoop 5.0. So I was wrong. And it is now September. And September and October are usually notoriously huge months for tech. But something tells me, with all of the tech releases that are coming and have come, I don't know if Whoop really wants to be overshadowed during a launch. Recently, Apple had their huge September keynote where they updated the AirPods, the iPhone, and the Apple Watch. Now we have the Apple Watch Series 10 and the Apple Watch Ultra 2.
The durable titanium case.
These Apple keynotes are always a big deal, but more importantly, they just kind of dominate the airwaves. So something tells me if Whoop is coming out with a 5.0 this year, they're gonna wait until that Apple news cycle starts to simmer down. And if they do wait, should you? Maybe that's the bigger question. Should you care enough to wait? Let's take a quick look at what the competition is giving you now. First, we got the Apple Watch Ultra. It's basically your ultimate everyday do-it-all smartwatch. It can track just about everything. And if you use the cellular that comes with it, you can send calls, you can send texts, you can get directions and use maps. And if you want, you can put all of your debit cards and your credit cards on there. So for anything that takes tap to pay, you can pay right from your watch. It basically takes over as your phone. And I've made plenty of videos on it and how life-changing that can be. It does have shitty battery life though. What doesn't have crappy battery life though is another competitor, and that's Garmin. It has 2-week battery life, and for some models, way more than that. The newest Phoenix can make calls and do texts, but you do have to have a phone paired with it and around for that. But if you are an endurance athlete or an adventurer, this is like your ultimate go-to smartwatch. It tracks things like HRV, VO2 max, plus you can get incredibly detailed maps for hiking and trail running. The only thing it doesn't really have compared to the Apple Watch Ultra or Apple Watch Series 10 is the robust app library. You kind of got to use Garmin's apps and they're not as good. Next, we have the Oura Ring. It's a ring, so this isn't an Oura Ring, this is my wedding ring, but it's a ring, so it's very small, unobtrusive form factor is awesome. It does lack on the fitness and exercise tracking side of things. You can't weight lift with it, not my opinion, that's Oura Rings. But it is substantially less expensive than an Apple Watch Ultra or the equivalent from Garmin, but it is excellent at tracking sleep. All of those you can get today, and I'm sure you'd be happy with all of them. Does that mean I'm unhappy with my Whoop? No, I love my Whoop. I've been a staunch advocate and a member for the last 5 years. There are so many reasons to love Whoop. It's insanely simple. It basically does everything for you. The app rocks. They're constantly giving you updates, like I mentioned earlier. Plus, you can wear the Whoop basically anywhere on your body. You don't have to wear it just on your wrist. And yet, while being a happy member for the last 5 years, it does feel a little bit boring, just a little bit. Whoop has improved a lot though. They have introduced so many quality of life features that have made this thing really easy, like the waterproof battery that you slide on. With the Whoop 4.0 from the 3.0, they made this clasp system so much easier. I know it's a simple thing, it's a small thing, but it does make our lives a little bit easier, and I appreciate that. Plus, the selection of styles is robust. They have expanded the amount of things you can track to an almost overwhelming amount. Plus, they have the journal, which nobody else does, but have they really innovated? Personally, I think Whoop needs to add a few things if they really want to separate themselves at this point. Right now, we have an internal battery. It's very small, very thin, but it does give us that 3 to 4 days. And we charge it using this awesome little external battery. That way you never have to take it off. External battery is the small battery, and the internal battery, even though it's small, is what gives us lots of juice. What if we're doing that backwards? What if we took the same type of internal battery that's in here and made it 3 times bigger? It's so small, I think the form of that battery would still be incredibly tiny, and we use that as the external battery. You charge that sucker up, place it on there, and now you've got 2 weeks of battery life. And when you take it off, the internal battery still lasts for a day or two, long enough for you to charge your new, bigger, but yet much, much smaller external battery. That way we can improve the battery life. I don't know, maybe it's not even possible, but Whoop engineers, if you're listening, maybe take this into consideration. I think we can all agree that the limiting factor of any one of these wearables is its ability to accurately track data. And while Whoop is really good, it's not the best. And if you're only gonna do one thing, Whoop, you kinda have to be the best at it. And with that in mind, I would love to see an overhaul to the sensor array, the amount of sensors we have, so that we can most accurately track all of the data. And as a part of that array, I would hope we would be able to track steps. I think another crucial addition to that tracking is a heavier investment on a more accurate GPS and other metrics to track aerobic and endurance type of training. So many of us Whoop users are starting to run, hike, ruck, trail run, you name it. I would love to see better and a more robust tracking ability for those types of activities. The strength trainer, like I mentioned earlier, is probably the most requested feature I've ever seen for the Whoop platform. So I was stoked when they introduced it. However, it's so tedious that it's basically a no-go. You know, if you've tried to use it, it is an incredibly tedious process that I won't rehash. And while they've updated it, it's just not there. We need to be able to just effortlessly track a strength workout, a weightlifting session, just like we would any other activity. I hope that they can make this happen. A ton of you are asking for a way to track your progress, your strength, and the weights that you're using, and I wholeheartedly agree. While I don't want a screen, the look of Whoop has remained unchanged since its inception, and it might be time that Whoop has to consider a little novelty. Whether that's a very tiny screen or some embedded LEDs, I'm not sure, and I know it's gonna piss a ton of people off. But I wouldn't mind some LEDs that would indicate my strain score color, you know, red, yellow, green, and probably a little spot where I could easily see the time. This would make it more of a one-stop shop for Wearable. Finally, I think if the Apple rumors are true and they do gain the ability to non-invasively monitor your glucose through these new bands, Whoop really needs a standout feature like that. Whether it's partnering with Dexcom or maybe a partnership with 8 Sleep so that they can revolutionize sleep in some way, I'm not sure, but I do think they need a grab your attention feature. Let's say there isn't though. Let's say they don't have a massive grab your attention feature. There's not some giant new innovation. Would I still get one? Well, yeah, I love my Whoop and I love everything that it has now. Also, this is my job, so it makes good business sense. And Whoop has been a rather huge part of the channel. I love the app. I love the data that it gives me. I love that it's just so basic and it's just there and I can always count on it. It always matches how I feel more accurately than any other wearable I've tried. Plus, I love the community. Speaking of communities, did you know I actually have my own private Whoop community? It's called the Super Secret Club. If you have a Whoop, the link to join is down in the description. We've grown a lot lately and it's a cool place because you can come and ask me questions or ask some of the group members. We have a ton of big brains on there. Plus I will do giveaways and competitions from time to time. Speaking of which, we've got a huge sponsor that's in the works right now. And if that goes through, you can expect to see some pretty cool giveaways soon. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Back to the original question. Where is the Whoop 5.0? Well, apparently there is a survey that is circulating around asking members if they would like a screen or not. And something tells me if that's circulating now, the Whoop 5.0 probably isn't close. I wouldn't bank on it this year. But what do you think? Do you think it's coming this year or next? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you're sick of waiting and you do want a Whoop and you want to try it for free for 30 days, there is a link in the description to do so. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found the video informative, entertaining, insightful, whatever, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button and consider subscribing. It's free. There's no obligations. You can cancel at any time. Well, that's it. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.